everyone, welcome to our summer 2021 adults level 2 video lessons. So these video tutorials are going to go over every single piece of music that you have in your course packet for the summer, whether or not we're going to use it in class. So we're going to kind of focus in on a few specific pieces for our class time, but I've included a lot of supplemental music that you can work on your own if you'd like to. Again, totally optional, but just that way you have some video tutorials to go over all those things. So a couple of things to keep in mind. Definitely feel free to stop and start these videos as you want. Repeat sections, for the sake of time, I won't necessarily go through and repeat things, endless times just so that I can, get through making all of these videos, but you're welcome to definitely stop and repeat several times on anything that you need help with. Also on YouTube, you can change the speed of my playing and talking. So if you want to go a little faster, you can turn the speed up. And if you need to go a little slower, you can turn the speed down all the way from like 0.75, 0.5, 0.25. So you can really make it a lot slower or a lot faster, so that way you can play along at the speed that is right for you. So we'll go ahead and get started with the first song that I have in my packet here, which is Under the Sea from The Little Mermaid. So one of the main things that we'll go over in this one is the counting. So you'll notice with a lot of these kind of popular songs that sometimes the rhythms are just a little bit different than what you might be most familiar with in the movie version of the song. So we'll go through and we'll count. My recommendation is to always just try it with the written rhythm. So the one that's on the page, get that solidified. And then if you want to kind of improvise a little bit and adjust the rhythm to make it sound a little bit more like the movie version, that's totally fine. But it's always a good exercise to make sure that you can do the correct way, the written way first. So a couple of things to look out for. We've got these ties throughout. So you just want to look out for those tied eighth notes. That's going to create that syncopated rhythm that we've talked about a few times. So in your book, you may not need to mark that, but you might want to. I just went ahead and marked in all those ties. In terms of notes, I think really the only place that's maybe a little tricky is down here. We've got a G in our right hand, and then we've got a C sharp and an A. So remember, C sharp would be the first one of the group of two blank keys, and they've got an A on the bottom. It's one of those that if you play it by itself, it sounds a little funny, but then when you actually put it in the context of the song overall, it sounds totally fine. And then the only other sharp that we have is we do have an F sharp in the right hand several times, so you'll want to look out for that. So I'm going to go ahead and play through this pretty slowly one time, saying the counts out loud. Then I'm going to do another time a little bit slowly, saying some of the note names out loud, and then I'll give sort of a full performance at tempo so you can hear how it sounds all together. For the first two times, I won't do the repeats just for the sake of time. So when I just do it slowly, those first two times, no repeats. And then on the second time, I will do the repeats because it'll be a little bit more of a full performance. So, and feel free to switch the order. If you want to watch it with the note names first, go for it. But whatever you want to do. But I'm going to go ahead and do counts first. All right. 1 and 2 and ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and rest and 2 and tie and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and That should have been a 3 and rest down, but whatever. So as I always say, doing those countings, that's my motivation for doing any kind of cardiovascular activity at all, because I get out of breath at the end of counting all that. So one thing to also note is that, the counting is more complicated than just kind of feeling the rhythm in some cases. A lot of more pop style rhythms really work very well to learn by rote, R-O-T-E. So just kind of learning by listening to them and just copying what you're hearing is totally fine. So if you're struggling to count along with me, don't worry about it. Just copy the rhythms that I'm doing and you'll be just fine. So I'm going to go through one more time, maybe a little faster, and I'm just going to call out a few of the note names this time, and then I'll do a full performance through. So no repeats again on this go. Here we start with our G chord in our left hand, G, B, D, and then a G and finger 3 in the right hand. G, 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 F sharp, A, G, D, B, D, D, B, F sharp, G, next line, C, E, G, G, E, G, D, F sharp, A, G, B, A, G, next page, chord, B, A, G, A, B, A, G, A, B, A, G, E, D, B, A, G, E, D, B, A, G, B, B, A, G, E, G, G, E, A, G, B, A, G, B, G, C, sharp and A all together. B, A, G, E, D, B, A, G, E, D, B, A, G, 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 F sharp, A, G. There was definitely a couple mistakes in there with the note names, so if I said something and you were like, I don't think that was the note, you're probably right. I think I called this A. I get my vowels confused. So again, feel free to definitely slow that down a little bit so you can take the YouTube speed down to 0.75, 0.5, whatever, if you want to play along a little bit slower with that. Now here's one time through. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to play the song with the repeats and everything so you can hear how it's going to sound kind of the finished product. I kind of did what I talked about. I altered the rhythms a little bit to make it sound a little bit more like the version that I grew up hearing. And again, this is very much a big goal tempo. No expectation that you would be able to play it this fast, or that you'd be able to play even the entire song at a speed. This is just, again, a supplemental thing for you to use if you would like, and get where you can with it. Again, I want you to have that sort of picture of what it sounds like completed in your head, because that's kind of can help you move in the right direction. But by no means is the expectation that after just a few practice sessions you would be able to play it that fast. Not at all. And if you can, great, excellent. But definitely do not think that is the expectation by any means. So that is it for this one. Let me know if there's something that you would like to have a more detailed tutorial on. If there's a section that you're just missing the notes on, something that you'd like to see a little bit slower, a little bit more in depth, and feel free to let me know, and I'm happy to provide that. And if not, I will plan to see you in the next one. Happy practicing.